Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Indian Law Resource Center with the Citizen Potawatomi Nation, the Haliwa-Saponi Tribe, the Métis Nation, and the Tonawanda Seneca Nation welcomes the work of the President of the 70th session of the General Assembly and his advisors on this consultation. We believe that a new status designed particularly for Indigenous governing institutions will allow Indigenous peoples to contribute substantially to the work of the United Nations and will result in more informed deliberations, better decisions, more successful programs, greater security for Indigenous rights, and progress towards achieving the purposes of the UN Declaration. Article 18 of the Declaration states the right of Indigenous peoples to participate in decision-making in matters affecting their rights through representatives chosen by themselves in accordance with their own procedures. Article 19 recognizes the duty of states to consult and cooperate with Indigenous peoples through Indigenous peoples governing or representative institutions before adopting or implementing measures that may affect them. And Article 42 commits the United Nations and its bodies and specialized agencies to promote respect for and full application of the Declaration. Indigenous governing institutions should be able to participate in an effective and meaningful way in all relevant United Nations meetings and bodies, and not just the Indigenous specific mechanisms such as the Permanent Forum and the Expert Mechanism on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. Once accredited, Indigenous governing institutions should be able to participate in meetings of relevant United Nations bodies as specified by the World Conference Outcome Document. While the General Assembly does not have the authority to require Indigenous participation in all UN activities, it can recommend and encourage the UN as a whole to enable the participation of Indigenous governing institutions. The General Assembly's resolution expanding the participation of national human rights institutions beyond the Human Rights Council provides good guidance on this point. The General Assembly should allow for the permanent and regular participation of Indigenous governing institutions in a capacity equivalent to those of observers in the General Assembly and its subsidiary organs, committees, and working groups, as well as in international meetings and conferences convened under the auspices of the Assembly and in United Nations conferences. Further, the General Assembly should invite the Economic and Social Council, the Human Rights Council, and the United Nations programs and funds, and the specialized agencies to enhance the participation of Indigenous governing institutions in their sessions, subsidiary organs, committees, and working groups. Such accommodations by the General Assembly would ensure that Indigenous governing institutions would be able to contribute to the work of the Economic and Social Council and its subsidiary bodies, the Human Rights Council and its subsidiary bodies, the treaty bodies, and the Universal Periodic Review process, as well as in the General Assembly and its main committees. Each of these UN bodies regularly address issues relevant to Indigenous peoples, and Indigenous peoples' participation in these venues is of the utmost importance. Thank you.